and welcome to Retirement Planning for Beginners. I'm Hannah. In the video today we're going to be discussing how just a 1% change can truly impact the value of your fund, especially if the fees are based upon the value of the total fund rather than being a fixed fee or a flat rate fee.
Imagine that actually this person starts off with 50,000 as the initial amount of money that they've put into the fund at age 22. Again, they've been gifted this money. Now, remember, you can start at whatever age you choose as an example, scenario planning, if you like, just so that you can get a very good idea as to what this might look like. So they were 22 in the year 2000 and they were gifted £50,000. The fees that they were paying in the beginning, well, throughout the life of this particular plan, is 3% at 10% return on investment. At the end of their working life, at age 67, when they can claim this pension, the fund has made just over £1 million, and the total fees that have been paid is £460,000, and this assumes a return on investment of 10%. Now look at how the fees have just rapidly increased or gradually increased over the years. This is the annual amount that they're actually paying in fees in column F. Now, I want you to notice the difference from 3% down to 2% fees. So remember, it was £1 million, the fund value at 3%. Look at the difference when the fee rate is 2%. The fund value is now 1.5 million and the total fees has gone down by approximately 40,000 or so. Now I want you to look at the difference if the fee rate goes down to 1%. Look at that. That is amazing. Look at that. It's gone up. The fund value has gone up to 2.4 million just by that difference of 1% in the interest rate. That's simply unbelievable. And look at the fees. They haven't quite halved, but it's very close to half. Now imagine if the fees are 0.5%. Look at what difference it's going to make. Oops, nope, 0.5%, let's do that correctly. So 0.5%, there we go, 0.5%. Look at that, 2.9 million if the fees are just 0.5%. And again, look at the fees that you're paying each year. Now, I'm not saying that pension advisors or people who manage these funds should not be paid. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you here, what I'm trying to communicate to you is that you really must pay attention to the value of any fees, but look at the percentage that they are charging you and look at how they are calculating it. So in this example, we are assuming that the fee rate is multiplied by the principal amount. So for example, in year 2, you can see that the money's gone up to 54,000. So 0.5% times 54,000 is the 274. Now, what I want to show you is what that actually looks like when you actually look at the numbers side by side. So I'm going to put the fee rate back to 3% here, because that's what will help you to get a really good idea as to the impact of just a 1% change in the fees. So if the fees are 3%, look at the fund value, just over £1 million. Now look at scenario number 2, where the fee rate is 2%. Look at the fund value, 1.5 million. And look at the difference in fees, approximately 40,000. Now, look at scenario number 3. So look at what happens in scenario number 3, where the fee rate is 1%. Look at that. Imagine 3%, it's just over £1 million. 2%, it's 1.5 million. And at 1% fees, look at how much the fund value has grown. But notice how the fees have not gone down at the same rate, but they have gone down. And because the fees have gone down, you've got more of your capital going towards the ROI. So the numbers in this column, in the first column here, are more than they would otherwise be because you're paying less in fees. but the difference is just completely astronomical. It's beyond belief. And now look at scenario number 4, where the fee rate is 0.5%. Now remember, I'm not saying that financial advisors and people who manage pension funds should not be paid. I need for you to pay attention to how they're charging you for the privilege of managing your money, because it is your money that they are managing. But look at that. If you're paying total fees of 0.5%, so that's 0.5%, look at the value of the fund. Almost 3 million versus paying 3% and the fund value is just 1 million. Now this could be the decision that you need, or the information that you need, in order to decide whether actually you're going to retire at 45, 55 or 65 or 67, because you might be thinking, well actually I have to wait until I turn 67 because my pot's not going to be big enough. Whereas actually you start paying attention early, you can make better, more informed decisions. And I've just got one more scenario to show you here. I've looked at examples of pension providers where they have lots of different fees, and I'm going to put a link in the corner here for a video that I did explaining the different types of fees that pension providers can charge. So please go and watch that so that at least you have a better understanding when you email them to ask them to explain to you how many different fees they charge and what is the percentage of the fee that they charge on your principal. And the other question that you need to ask them is, how do they calculate the fees? Is it based on the principal, as in the amount of the value of the fund at the start of the year, or is the fee calculated based on the value of the fund at the end of the year? Because that will actually make a big difference. Please pay attention to your fees, because this will make sure that you start to take ownership of your financial affairs. I've said it before and I will say it again. I appreciate the advice that you can get from financial advisors or from these professionals, these experts, but you must take ownership for this, because ultimately this is your money and they are just looking after it for you. Don't abdicate this responsibility. Do not delegate this responsibility. If there's something that you don't understand that somebody is managing for you, ask them, and ask them via email, because then you've got it in writing and they will usually respond to you in writing. Now they might need to call you up to explain it, and if they do, ask them to just confirm it to you in writing, so you've got it in black and white to make sure that you actually understand what it is. And again, if you don't understand, you've got to keep asking until you do understand. And if they're not willing to teach you, that says a lot about their teaching skills, but also about them as an organisation, but also about them as a person. So really what I wanted to communicate to you today in this video is to make sure that you understand, number one, most importantly, the fees and how those fees are calculated, because these scenarios that I'm presenting to you on screen demonstrate the impact of just a 1% change in the fee rate on what it will do to your fund value. Imagine 1 million versus 3 million. Now we started with 50,000. If, for example, we started with, let's just say we started with £10,000, all the figures in this particular spreadsheet will just change in a moment, because I've set it up so that it automatically makes a change. But again, even starting with 10,000, look at that. This is the difference between having 210,000 in your fund versus 685,000. Does that not make a difference? Well, it certainly does to me. If it makes a difference to you, then you want to be making sure that you're asking questions of your advisors, of the people who are managing your money.
Thanks indeed for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the content today. I hope it's inspired you and encouraged you to actually go and ask questions of the people who manage your money, because ultimately, remember, this is always your money and they're just looking after it for you, and they should be acting in your best interests. And obviously, I'm not expecting them to not charge you, but it's really, really important, as you can see from the video today, that you do pay attention to how they're charging you. Remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, and to hit the notifications bell. See you next time.